Hello, and welcome to the video walkthrough guide created for Fitchburg State University faculty who are looking to utilize Turnitin assignments within Blackboard. Turnitin is a platform that automates assignment submissions and runs each submission through an expansive database to analyze its originality. This video is part 1 of a 3-part tutorial series. In this segment, we will go over how to create a Turnitin assignment. In the next 2 video tutorials, we will cover Turnitin rubrics and how to utilize the Feedback Studio. Let's start by logging into Blackboard Learn using our Fitchburg State credentials and navigating to the course where we would like to create a Turnitin assignment. Next, go to the Content area where you would like the assignment to be housed. Hover your mouse over the Assessments tab and select Turnitin Direct Assignment. From there, enter the assignment name and then a description or instructions for your students. For submission method, you have the option of file upload, text submission, or both. File upload means students will attach their work, ideally as a Word document or PDF. Text submission allows them to type directly into the field or to copy-paste their work from elsewhere. I'm going to choose File Upload for this sample assignment. Next, enter the number of points for the overall grade and the number of assignment parts. You can have up to 5 for multi-part assignments. This is useful if you would like to break down a bigger assignment into smaller steps, or if you would like to allow for multiple draft submissions. For most assignments, 1 part will be sufficient. When it comes to setting your dates, the start date will show us today's date, as well as the current time. Choose the day that you want students to be able to first access this assignment. I'm going to leave this at the current day and time. The due date is here as well and defaults to 1 month in the future, but of course you can edit that. I'm going to choose 2 weeks out, so I'm going to click on the calendar to the right of the date, and I'm going to navigate back to November, and I will select 2 weeks from today and toggle the timestamps to 11:59:59 to give them the full day to complete the assignment. Select Done when you have finished choosing your due date. The post date indicates when students can see scores, comments, feedback, and marks left by the instructor. It does not apply to the similarity report or a grammar check. You have some options on how you can edit this. By default, the post date is 1 month in the future, like the due date was. Many instructors like to have the post date equal to the due date, so that students can see feedback immediately after the due date passes. Some instructors would like to have a few days between the due date and the post date. This gives them time to mark papers before students can see feedback. Another option is to set this up so that students can see feedback immediately after submission. After the instructor leaves feedback, it would be immediately available if you set the post date in the past. So rather than after the due date, you would set it before the due date. I'm going to set my post date to be a couple of days after the due date to give myself time to review work. And again, I'm going to toggle the times to give myself the full day. And select Done when you're ready. For exclusions, you can exclude sections of the paper from the similarity report if you want to. You can do small match exclusions, excluding by a number of words or a percentage. You can also exclude bibliographic material that would also exclude the references and works cited sections of the paper, in addition to the bibliography. And there's an exclusion for quoted material that would exclude anything in the paper within quotation marks. The grammar check through ETS eRater is through a third-party partnership we have with ETS. This would do an automatic grammar check on the paper. If you select yes, you can set the ECS handbook, as well as the E-Rater English Dictionary, US, UK, or both. And you can select the E-Rater categories such as spelling, grammar, usage, mechanics, and style. And the option as to whether or not you want to use GradeMark for delivering feedback to students is here as well. I would highly recommend leaving this option at yes, because this is where you'll be able to provide students with your custom feedback. The next section is the repository. You can set the repository that papers would go to either No Repository or Standard Repository, which is our global student paper database. If you set it to No Repository, then papers would not be added and could not be compared against in the future. Standard Repository would do that globally, so across schools, papers would be compared. I would recommend always putting papers in a repository. You can decide whether grades are revealed immediately or at the post date, and whether or not the grades from Turnitin should push through or be ignored. Next, you can set the report generation speed. There are two ways that reports can be generated. You can generate reports immediately, students can resubmit until the due date, or you can generate the reports on the due date. Next, you can set the grading schema. For this assignment, I will choose score, but you also have the complete, incomplete, text, percentage, and letter choices. Turnitin allows us to create or import a rubric to attach with our assignment. We will go over this feature in greater depth in our next session of this tutorial series. A few more options we have are whether or not to allow students to view the originality reports, whether or not we're going to allow for late submissions, and lastly, whether we would like to save these settings as our defaults so that the next time we create a Turnitin assignment, all of these settings will automatically be chosen and we can adjust them as needed. When we are ready, we're going to press the blue Create Assignment button in the bottom right-hand corner. Once it has finished loading, the assignment will be created within Blackboard. If there's an error or you have to make an adjustment, you can go in and edit some of the assignment details. After the assignment start date, there may be some options you will no longer be able to adjust in order to preserve the accuracy of the results. To edit the assignment, one option is to select the blue Edit Parts button. Here, we can just edit the start date, due date, post date, and overall grade, and then select Update Parts when we're finished. To modify the assignment details, select Modify in the top tab and adjust any of the sections that you need to. When you are finished, select Update Assignment, and that will bring you back to the Submissions Inbox page. Hopefully this tutorial will help you get started with creating Turnitin assignments in Blackboard. Please check out the other two video tutorials to learn more about Turnitin rubrics and using the Feedback Studio to review student work. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to Digital Learning at the School of Online, Graduate, and Continuing Education at Fitchburg State University.